Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Green Agenda. Today is Season 6, Episode 4, and first and foremost, we want to say Happy Housing Month. Woo, woo. For today's episode, we have with us Melody Marsh. So excited to have conversation, and we're going to be talking about and commemorating the 12th year anniversary of the Flint water crisis by sharing personal stories and lessons learned from a young person who was directly impacted, emphasizing the ongoing fight for safe drinking water across the nation and accountability for public officials. We are joined tonight by, as I said, an HBA, soon-to-be HBCU alum, and we're just so excited to get into this conversation. I realized I didn't say my name is Kayla, your host, a proud Spelman alumna, and so I'm so excited to be sitting here with a peer, a friend, a colleague. Melody, what should they know about you before we get started?
Well, hello, everyone. Again, my name is Melody. I'm a senior at Howard University, a graduating senior, which I even feel is really weird, and I'm still learning to sit in that, but I'm a graduating senior at Howard University. I study health science with a concentration in biology and chemistry, and I'm on the pre-med track from Flint, Michigan. I'm a youth environmental justice advocate for different organizations like Young, Gifted, and Green, as well as the Flint Public Health Youth Academy, and then my work primarily focuses around water equity, climate justice, and access to safe resources. And I'm truly passionate about turning my lived experiences into policy change and education.
Okay. Thank you so much for the intro. This feels so, for those who don't know, Melody and I actually met through the Flint Public Health Youth Academy when we were just this big. Actually, also, I went to school with your brother. So the roots run deep.
You used to be doing his waitress, or you would come do his hair.
Yes, so the roots run deep. So really excited to have Melody here with us.
They do.
I'm excited to learn more about what journey has brought you here. So like you talked a little bit about like where you are now, what you're studying, the organizations that you're connected to, but what brought you into the environmental justice space?
The Flint water crisis. Like, to put it simply, to put it plainly, literally just the Flint water crisis and seeing what that did to my people. And it sparked something inside. It sparked the anger in me that told me, okay, I need to do something to help my community. I need to do something to let them know that this isn't what's going to stop us. This isn't going to put us under anymore. Going through the Flint water crisis and learning about public health, learning about environmental justice, the Young, Gifted, and Green summer camp, going to that, and then all of our podcasts that, honestly, Kayla, I looked up to you so much during that. So I just want to say, just everybody around me, all the people, Deanna, just everybody around me that has encouraged me in my space and has taught me so much about the importance of public health.
Yeah.
And then especially like connecting it to medicine, because I've always wanted to be a doctor. Like, I've loved learning about the body. I've loved like helping people. So like that's always been, and I was like, Dr. Key, how can I be a doctor and how can I study public health?
Shout out Dr. Key, Flint Public Health Youth Academy.
Like, how can I do both? And he's like, you can do both, Melody. You can do both, Melody. So I like kind of pondered on it. I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know how I can do both. And then I was able to see it when I was working at MSU over the summer, how I could be a researching physician, be a physician as well as do research in public health. So like this whole journey of the Flint Public Health Youth Academy, going to Howard and just seeing how I can grow and seeing how I can grow and seeing who I can be is what has brought me here today, I guess.
That's really exciting. Yes, and I appreciate all the name drops. I want to hold space for like the folks who really have laid the foundation in the work for even prior to us. Like, shout out to Latricia, shout out to Dr. Key, shout out to Dr. Bailey, shout out to Deanna, shout out to the whole community in the city of Flint that has been a part of both of our journeys. So going further into that, like, how did your family first, like, how was the Flint water crisis first brought to your attention? Because even though we say every year we talk about commemorating the water crisis, the actual inception of the crisis started much before when it's understood to be the start, right? Like when it became a public crisis was not when it began as a crisis for the residents of the city of Flint. And so how was it first brought to your attention and that of your family?
To be honest, like I was thinking about this. I was like, I don't even remember like the first time finding out that there was a water crisis, I just remember hearing, oh, okay, they switched the water to the Flint River, and I'm like, if you grew up in Flint, you know what the Flint River looks like, and you know the stories about the Flint River. So I'm like, that's crazy. I'm scared, and then I'm just a kid, so I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. And I just remember my mom or my stepmom saying, okay, while you're at your mom's house, make sure you're boiling your water. Make sure you're using a bottle to brush your teeth, all these different things. And it just put an overwhelming weight on my shoulders. The things that I normally could do freely without thought, brushing your teeth. Who thinks you're going to have a problem brushing your teeth?
Yeah.
Truthfully, a human right. And that was sadly taken from us. But, so just remembering, and then going to school in the outside. I went to school in Grand Blanc. Mm-hmm. Just hearing all the negative talk from them, it's oh, okay, I didn't even know that. It was something I didn't know a lot about as a kid. So it was really just scary. And, it was a lot for a child, truthfully.
Yeah.
So I guess I would say just starting to hear more from other people surrounding me about what was going on with my water.
So you talk a lot. You talked a little bit about what your experience was going from home also to a neighboring city, living in the city of Flint, but then going to school in a neighboring city who, honestly, a lot of those students just could not understand, myself included, could not understand the lived realities of residents of the city of Flint, right? Like you said, the daily not being able to take a shower, not being able to cook food, not being able to brush your teeth, wash your face, things that we on a daily basis take for granted because it's not something that folks had to think about, right? Mm-hmm. How do you think having that experience, right, and then being exposed to opportunities that supported you to comprehend that from a public health standpoint, from a medical standpoint, how has that shaped who you became and who you are today?
Oh, that's a big question.
Yes, ponder.
Right. I think just living through that and seeing seeing how important our health is, and how many different things contribute to your health. Because I learned that not only was water affected by the Flint water crisis, but it was access to transportation, access to clean homes, or safe homes, a variety of things. So I was learning all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, and then this contributes to our health. So it's not just it's the water you're drinking, it's the housing that you're living in, it's how you're getting transported to school. Just there's so many different things that contributes to your health, and that is what public health is. Public health is everything.
And everything is public health.
Literally. And learning that, it's okay, but I want to be a doctor. So I need to know all these things that are contributing to these people's health before I try to prescribe them something. Because I feel a lot of times, and this is going to make me emotional, I don't even know why, but a lot of times we go to the doctors and they try to prescribe us something, or they tell us to do this, they tell us to do that. But okay, this is the example I use a lot. So say you're our obesity rates in Michigan, just our obesity rates in the United States, incredibly high. But in marginalized communities, in unsafe communities, they'll tell us, okay, go to the gym, go work out. Who has the financial ability to get a gym membership all the time? Who can go walk around your community? Gun violence in Michigan and Flint is high. It's not safe in some communities to just go walk around. So it's needing to know all of the different different contributors to our health and what's controlling it. So as a doctor, knowing having a public health background, I'll be able to assess that in a better way, assess and prescribe and treat in a better way, or a more holistic way. So yeah. What was the question again?
No, I think you answered it. I was just asking about how that experience as a child shaped how you show up today, who you are.
Yes, that's how. It just makes me see more, see the wider view of health, see the wider view of medicine that needs to be taught.
I think that's so good. I'm so glad that you brought in particularly your experience now as it relates to a soon-to-be doctor. Come on, up the street and around the corner, okay? I'm really curious about what it's like as you're in some of the introductory phases of these classrooms, of internships, of opportunities where you're being exposed to the field of medicine that also has a complex history, right? When we talk about communities of color and cultural competency and like the degree to which doctors are able to see the more holistic picture that is formed by public health and understanding of public health. How have you seen that either show up or lack in your in the formal education and preparation for your future as a doctor?
I would say at Howard University.
Come on, Howard!
Yes, at the illustrious Howard University, I have learned a lot about just the wrongdoings of the government on African Americans. Whether it's the Tuskegee trial, Henrietta Lacks, those are the two that just come to, like, the two main ones that come to mind. But I know there's so many more. But like, just these different things that they did to our people, like to test on us or to figure stuff out. So it's like learning about that. And then being like, okay, well, I'm going to be a Black doctor. I'm going to be a representative for my people. I'm going to make sure that we're getting the treatment that we need. So any chance that I get that I can speak, that I can just share what insight I do have, and that my insight is growing with all the schooling that I'm doing, it's just an amazing opportunity to be able to do that, I guess. But like learning at Howard, like my health policy class, my geriatrics for health professionals class, like all of these different nutrition class, I don't know. I've taken so many classes, y'all. But literally soon to be graduate. I just can say that Howard has prepared me to go out into the world, whether I do end up staying at a HBCU or if I end up at a PWI, to stand strong and to be confident in who I am as a person, so that when I'm in that field, I can stand strong and be confident as a doctor, as a public health professional, in whatever I'm doing. So yeah.
That's amazing. Yes. Very classy answer. I really appreciate particularly like your specification of an HBCU experience, right? But we understand that like that's not necessarily what happens at a HBCU, historically Black college university, is not necessarily indicative of like the common culture across universities as a whole, right? And so when you consider like the field of medicine and like the prospects for the field of medicine and like disparities that we know exist, what if you had to prescribe something is missing? What is missing from common education and common practices related to the field of medicine?
Public health. Like, there's not a public health prerequisite that I have to take to go to medical school. I chose to be a health science major. Mind you, Howard does not have a public health major. It has health sciences, so I did the closest thing I could. So Howard, get your public health major for undergrads. They do have a master's of public health, but Howard,
come on, undergrad.
Yes, come on. But yeah, so I chose that because again, I learned the importance of public health to medicine. So, and this is like a goal in the back of my mind that y'all can come back and ask me one day. I plan to go to, I think it's like AAC, the American, whatever the organization is. Like, public health needs to be a requirement. Like, you need to learn more about you need to learn more about public health and how that contributes to medicine. So yeah, like making that a requirement for, I don't understand why it's not, making public health a requirement or like a course, and like so the white people can learn about marginalized communities and the things that they've done to us, and learn about just learn about the different like I guess I don't know, I'll say like genetic differences between white people and Black people, how certain things affect Black people compared to how certain things affect white people. Like, it's different. Like the greatest, like an example I had myself, I went to like get, I don't know how like personal we can get in here, but I was had to go to a gynecologist for something, and they didn't educate me completely. Like I didn't know that I didn't know that my body was different than the white, like in that specific sense. I didn't know my body was different than this white person body. And I'm sitting here with a white doctor and they're giving me a prescription and saying this, but did they consider, because I did the research myself. I was like, okay, well, did you know this? Did you know that this was going to happen because I'm Black? And I said, you need to do research. I educated him pretty much. I said, well, I found this this research paper that says this, da 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 da, and I wish you would have told me that. But I had a white doctor, so it's like, if I had went to the black doctor, would I have been more considered? Would that have been something that was communicated to me, or whatever? I don't know if that makes sense because I wasn't able to give everything, but it's like there's differences in our bodies. There's differences, and then like there's this thing called like blood genetics, like how over time, yeah, okay, it's like how over time, just how the different things you're experiencing, the different things that you go through affects your body and stuff like that. So us black people, we went through slavery. We just went through a lot.
Don't even get me started.
Like, we just went through a lot. So our genetics have changed. Like how we process things, how our body goes through things is different than what white people do, because what do they have to go through?
Yeah, and I wanna jump in there because I think I want to venture a little further with you into that. Like first of all, going back to like public health and the value, like I feel like there is such great value. There would be such great value in public health being a prerequisite required course across the field, across demographics, across backgrounds, because there's so much that's left behind, like in through implicit bias, right? Through like institutional bias, systemic bias, right? And there's such great value to any student, right, that has the opportunity. But then also, right, talking about how cultural differences, yes, absolutely affect the way that it affects. We had a guest who came in and was talking about like food, right? Mm-hmm. Like something that's so substantial and like something that we need to live, and how that differs culture by culture, and how that leads to health outcomes culture by culture, right? That like cultures that like, you know, soul food, like we love a good fried chicken, greens me down, right? But how some of those things can be correlated to poor health outcomes, right? And like how it's important for us to have those conversations. And so I really appreciate like, right, yes, as you said, the framing that public health as a way of understanding society, as a way of understanding outcomes, as a lens through which to view people and question systems and understand solutions in ways that are community oriented and trauma informed, right? Because I think that's a lot of what you were talking about, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong or tell me when I'm off base. But yes, like, what are these differences that we're experiencing? Yes, as a result of our racial background, but even one of the greatest indicators of health outcomes is your zip code. Mm-hmm. So geographically, right? Like, what are even the barriers that folks are experiencing geographically, right? Like, what are health outcomes that are commonly experienced within Flint as opposed to Grand Blanc, right? So that's like a 48505 versus like a 48439, right? Like, what are these differences, and how public health offers us a framework through which to perceive and understand and study these things. Girl, yes, I support that addition to the curriculum. Howard, you listening?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody. And so now speaking, because you had the experience as a child of like living in the city of Flint, being a resident of Flint during the height of the Flint water crisis, right? And having the experience, those experiences shape you. You then came to DC, which also has its own particular set, of water struggles, right? And so what other cities, right, outside of just the city of Flint, what other places or communities at home or abroad, right, are also experiencing some of like the very real reality of like water shortage?
Yeah, so when I got this question, I was like, it's funny how I went from Flint to DC. So, like, from water crisis... Double
whammy.
Right. Double whammy. Like, from Flint to D.C., like, water crisis to water crisis. And I didn't even know. Mm-hmm. But, like, doing the work with Young, Gifted, and Green, going to the tabling events and stuff like that, the biggest, like, the lack of education around the importance of, like, of like just the lack of education about your water being tested, about what's wrong with it. Like for children, the brain development, the learning behavior, like those are the things that are being affected. For adults, high blood pressure and organ damage. Like there's significant impacts of drinking lead in our water. And then like not knowing about the resources that are out there. And this was the same thing that was happening in Flint. Like we didn't know that we could go to the city council and get a free water filter. And then they weren't telling us that we had to change the cartridge. So it's the same thing, and I'm seeing the same thing. Like I'm like, and it's a little frustrating, but also like I've been positioned here for a reason. Like, I'm going to say, I believe in God. God put me here for a reason. And I'm glad that I can use my lived experience from Flint to help DC native, like to help DC residents, DC natives. But yeah, like just to help so that they can learn from me and so that they don't have to experience the things that we experience back home. So, and then also, like Jackson, Mississippi, I think New York is having water crises. Like, there's water crisis everywhere.
It's rampant.
Like, yeah.
No, it's absolutly rampant across the country.
It was like 400 million or trillion. I'm sorry. I know it was four something. Four big
big number.
Four big number. Lead pipes out there still. Yeah. Across the United States. So, like, it's everywhere. And I just want there to be more education. So I appreciate Young, Gifted, and Green for being that mode, that place where we can educate people. We can teach them more about their health, about the lead implications. Like, yeah, but the lack of education, which is heartbreaking, but that's why, like, I try to do everything that I can to, like, teach people, oh, you don't know this? Okay, that's okay. But now you know. So what are we going to do about it? Like, yeah. So just being actionable, too. Like, being able to be actionable and be like, okay, here's the resource. Okay, let me help you find this resource. Or let's try to figure it out together. Because in D.C., there is programs to get your pipes replaced. There is programs to get your water tested. Like, all these different things. So, like, being able to find those and then help residents is, yeah.
Yeah. There's so much that I'm like my brain is going in circles. I really want to talk about the knowledge, right? The difference that it makes to be knowledgeable about water filters, about the importance of water filters. And honestly, the best time to be informed is before crisis, right? Like, ideally, in an ideal world, folks would have the opportunity to be aware, right, of like what are healthy water levels for all of the different things that you should be checking your water for, right? Not even just lead, right? So what are healthy levels? How often should I be checking them? How often should I be changing the filters in my water filter if I'm using it? And would not have to, and ideally, right, that like we would ourselves as residents not have to hold accountability more squarely sometimes even than the government institutions that have been put in place for the education of others, right? But then even like you referenced earlier, being in the doctor's office and having to be the resource to the expert, right? Or who you would anticipate to be the expert. So often, like, community is made to step up in that way. And that's not to say that community intrinsically was created to be like foundational of democracy, of our system. And like, that is how community is intended to function. But unfortunately today, in what is sometimes like a bastardized version of what democracy, we could get into a whole nother conversation of what democracy was intended to be. But anywho, the point being that it is unfortunate, right, that community members, residents like yourself, folks who have experienced trauma are now having to step to the forefront of these movements to be the voice of the resource, to like the worker horse of the movement, right? But I also just want to, and in saying that, commend you, right? Because, child, you don't have to, right? Like, it at the end of the day, it does not have to be your responsibility or any individual's responsibility, particularly who has been a victim of a system, to then step up and be the advocate for that system, right? And also the difference that it makes to hear directly from someone who has your experiences, right? Like the value that it offers to the sector of environmental health, to the sector of medicine, to the world as it is ever changing is like out of this world. It is astronomical. So I just want to say that and uplift that. Like it is admirable for you to continue to work against the system that has done you harm.
Well, period. Thank you so much. We all have our purpose. We all have our reason. Like, we all have the thing that encourages us. And I would say, that's mine, because it's not fair when you don't know. Truthfully, just that's not fair.
Because they say if you know better, you do better. But what if you don't know? Then what?
Then what? I'm just drinking this water. Y'all are poisoning me day after day. And I don't know.
Yeah.
So if I know, I'm going to try to help. I just hope y'all listen to me.
I just hope you listen.
Because I'm not the one to sit here and fight and go back and forth with you. So I'm going to tell you. And at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you, and then it's up to you.
Look, you can only do what you can do. So pushing forward, after the crisis, Flint, just behind Detroit, used the most state revolving funds in Michigan's history to fund service line replacements. For the fiscal year of 2026, as well as 2027, after their budget requests, the federal administration has called for cutting the clean water and drinking water funds by nearly 90%. Let that number sink in. 90%. What do you think that would mean for the city of Flint and every other city that's still waiting for help?
It means more exposure, more exposures for families, people to contaminated water, more delays in the lead pipe replacement, which they're already moving slow, and then more communities forced to live with the uncertainty of whether their water is clean, whether they can shower safely, whether they can brush their teeth without worrying, whether they can cook without worrying, all the things. And I think it's just crazy because according to the EPA, their latest assessment, drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater system need at least $1.3 trillion in improvement over the next 20 years to comply with existing law.
So an undercut to the underfunding.
Yes.
You already were not funding at the level that was necessary.
Mind you, to comply with the law. So you're cutting the money, but you're not following the law. It's just frustrating. I don't know.
And the message that it sends to American citizens about the value that our government has for them, for their health, for their families, for their basic rights, for their basic needs. There is so much that is being communicated by our federal administration, by not any one individual, but the system as a whole, right? Every hold up on healthcare, every cutback on clean water, right? Every decision that is actively detrimental, harmful, and deadly. Let's call a spade a spade.
Right.
These decisions are deadly and most harmful to the individuals that are least protected. Right? Whether that be by economic power, by voting power, et cetera, right? And it makes such a difference. And it may be easy for folks to deny the facts and figures, right? Because that's what we're seeing today is the very common denial of that the number says what the number says, that the percentages are what the percentages are. It may be easy to deny that, but what I would hope would be more difficult is to deny the faces of our children, to deny the requests of mothers, right? To deny to any human, to any individual, their right to a healthy life.
Right.
Right? And these are the discussions, the intricacies of these implications that are not being addressed widespread because it's just a number. It's just a budget item. It is just, it's just one community. It's just one city. It's just a few communities. It's, the minimalization of the impact is so widespread.
And I think it's crazy because the research is out there. why are we choosing to ignore it? Like, science is a thing for a reason. Like, simple as that.
Use your resources.
Right, simple as you believe the lights turn on. Like, that's science. You can trust in that, but you can't trust the research that these academics are doing. Like, it's out there. It shows what's happening to us kids. It shows what's happening to the adults affected by these things. Like, it's just really sad. Like, truthfully, at the end of the day, it's sad that this is what we're doing to our people. And again, it's not just Black and brown communities anymore. Like, this is gonna have a trickling down effect. It's gonna affect
everyone.
Yeah.
There's no one that it will not touch. And if it's not at your doorstep, if it's not at your doorstep today, it just might be tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's like we're biding our time.
And this is so crazy. Like,
man.
And it's like what can we do? Like, what can we do?
We can.
You're right.
Pick your head up.
We can, but like, it just irritates me. Like, you just cut, like, okay. Now it just sends us back. Like, we just came so far. Like, Justice 40. We just came so far.
Yeah.
But
I think a lot of this is an intentional response to progress made under the former administration, right? Like, there is an active undoing of, like, how much can I pull back the line, right? Like, and again, we've said this time and time again on the show that, like, it is strategic, it is intentional, like, to try to attempt to dishearten, right? And to try to, like, perpetuate this idea or belief that, like, there's only so much power that the people have, right? Like, there's only so much we can do. But when we band together, like, when we support one another to be knowledgeable, when we log into and, like, lock into our personal power, right? Like, there's nothing that the government can do against the power of the people. Like, we truly have numbers, and it's so important to uplift that. I know you were joking, but like, it's just so important in conversation and language and in communication for us to be mindful of that. I'm going to push us along because I know, look, y'all, this is my girl for real, so we could kiki all day.
We can chat.
It's been 12 years, and many people still don't feel like justice has been served in the case of the Flint water crisis. What do you think real accountability would look like for your community from your perspective?
The money that they're promised us.
I want the money and the cars.
Like, give us the money. That doesn't fix anything, but, you know, it's a nice little...
It makes a difference.
It does. Like, pay us what you said you was going to pay us. But not just acknowledgement, but we need some action. Like, we need long-term health support for the consequences that they're going to cause. I will say I'm not educated on what the... we know what the consequences of drinking the water from the lead is going to be, like, how that's going to affect us, but who knows how it's going to show up 10 years later or, like, 30 years later, as
because they're still collecting the data.
Exactly. So we need, and they need to pay for that too. Like, we need support for that. So long-term health support, and then help restore Flint's legacy, because Flint used to be a vehicle city. Like, it used to be one of the highest earning cities. So, like, invest in our economy, like bringing more jobs, making Flint
and not gentrification. Let's be clear, that's not what we're describing.
Right.
But investing intentionally in existing residents, right? Investing intentionally in existing infrastructure, right? We're not talking about new yoga studios and, like, pro-yo shops.
No.
We want real investment
keeping our community live. So that also means having community at the table when we're making these decisions about investing in our economy. So keeping our, like, the community voice involved. And then also, like, I want to, like, see Flint's educational system strengthened. That's very important. Yeah, like, just our Flint students deserve more. Superintendent Kevin Jones is doing his job, so he's working towards it. So I want to commend him and say thank you for the work that you have done so far, and I'm excited to see what more there is to come. So that, and then also improve, like, school health issues. So the poor air quality and filtration systems, like the asthma rates in Flint compared to Grand Blanc, vast difference. So, like, stuff like that. And then also working to rebuild that trust in the government. Like, I want to be I pray for a time where we can have trust in our government again, where we're not questioning every decision that they make or questioning the city, like where we don't have such a
fraught relationship.
Yeah. So like building our trust again. I'm not exactly sure how we can do that, but just working towards that and that being a goal. And then, protecting our future. So making sure that this never happens again, making sure that we're not put in a situation where one of our basic rights is taken away from us and then we're scattering. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. From the mouth of babes, they say. I cracked myself up. Okay, I'm sorry. Anywho, that's really good. I appreciate your thoughts, your feedback, and we're coming close to the end of another episode already.
Heartbreak.
That was so quick. But before we leave, we always like to give our guests an opportunity to share something with our audience. So if they didn't hear anything else, if there's anything from our conversation today that you hope especially sticks out to them, rests on their heart, maybe causes them to gives them a call to action, right? What's one thing you want to leave them with?
Well, I'll start with public health is everything, and everything is public health. So educate yourself on what's going on in your city, how that's affecting your health. Educate yourself on what's going on in your house, how that might be affecting your health. And then so get informed. And then if you learn that there's a problem, do something about it. Get your water tested if you feel like your water is discolored or having an odor.
Or not, or even if it's not having an odor, or get it tested anyway. Just
get it tested. Be safe, be on the safe side, because like we said, it's 4 big number lead pipes still in the United States. Truly, I'm sorry. I don't remember.
Big number.
It's a big number, so it could be your pipes. Let's just be realistic. It could be yours. It could be your neighbors. So once you get the information, share the information. Be in community. Ask people for help or inform other people. Educate other people. So yeah, educate.
Yeah. That's good. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time today to sit and chat with Melody and I. I hope you all have enjoyed. We are concluding another episode of The Green Agenda, and we hope to see you right back here next month.
Yes. Bye.